Kadyrov's policemen told for the first time about the mass executions. On March 15th, the newspaper Novaya Gazeta published the second part of its investigation into the mass execution of 27 people detained in the Chechen Republic that took place in January 2017. The newspaper quotes a witness, 32-year-old senior police sergeant Suleiman Gazmakhmayev, a former member of Akhmat Kadyrov's patrol and checkpoint service regiment. He had been guarding the captives, but according to him, he did not wish to be an executioner. Having given his testimony, the former serviceman left Russia. The witness is sure that the detainees were not terrorists. One of them was detained at a construction site where he had a part-time job. The other worked as a hairdresser. All of them were kept in the basement of the regiment's gym. They were strangled and shot in a neighboring barracks. Several high-ranking officials took part in this, including Tamerlan Musayev, head of the Shilinsky District Department of Internal Affairs, Aslan Irishanov, regimental commander, and Turpal Ali Ibragimov. According to Gazmakhmayev, the Chechen Deputy Prime Minister Abuzed Vismuradov supervises all activities from detention to execution, and he could not give an order to kill without Ramzan Kadyrov's sanction. Gazmakhmayev is reliably aware of the torture and execution of 13 people. He witnessed the massacres with his own eyes. The men were suspended from a special hook, then lowered headfirst into a barrel of water, hit with plastic sticks, and tortured with electricity. Many of the rooms were equipped as torture chambers. Gazmakhmayev's testimony is supported by the testimony of the detainees who managed to survive. Gazmakhmayev said that instead of catching terrorists, the police prepare for the result, random people who they arrest. They are brought in, kept in prison without being allowed to shave, and then taken out into the forest, killed, and declared a neutralized guerrilla. But the real guerrillas were always killed on the spot, and their weapons and money were stolen so they could be used to extend the counter-terrorist operation. The witness said that the regimental personnel used fake license plates so that they would not be identified as kidnappers. Besides, they wear chevrons of different military units on their uniforms, invent other people's names, and thus drive to detentions. In early 2017, Gazmakhmayev's company announced that detentions were coming. Some were named by the arrestees under torture, others were pointed out by the special services. Even if a person was innocent, as the former Kadyrovite has said, he would turn someone in under torture and the security forces would also take them away. That week, 56 people were brought to the regiment. Many of them saw each other for the first time. All of them were tortured with electric shocks and beatings. The detainees were interrogated by representatives of the Federal Secret Service, in addition to the regiment's operatives, the witness continued. They did not beat themselves. They started the interrogation after the torture. The torture and interrogation went on for 24 hours, the witness said. The detainees were starved to death. Some of the detainees were underage. No exceptions were made for them. From the testimony, after the execution, the corpses were taken out of the basement and put into a UAZ Patriot, which belonged to Tamerlan Musayev, head of the Interior Ministry of the Shilinsky District, and driven away. Where exactly, I do not know. On February 16, 2017, Tamerlan Musayev, the head of the Shilinsky District Department of Internal Affairs of Russia, was awarded a medal. Recall that in July 2019, Tamerlan Musayev died as a result of a road accident. His car crashed into a Kamaz. Tamerlan Musayev previously worked as the head of security of Magomed Duadov. In this capacity, he appeared in the case of Chechen political prisoner Ruslan Kutayev, who claimed that Musayev tortured him with an electric shocker. It did not take long for Kadyrov to react after the article was published. On March 17th, meetings were held in Grozny, mainly by relatives of the members of Kadyrov's regiment. This ostensibly Chechen public demanded that the newspaper Novaya Gazeta, which libels Ramzan Kadyrov and his security forces, should be shut down. Besides, Gazmakhmayev's relatives in the Chechen Republic were given an ultimatum. The witness had to withdraw his testimony under pain of death. It is possible that Ramzan Kadyrov's personal grudge played a role, as the witness, among other things, told interesting things about the Russian viceroy's lauded supercourage. From the testimony, Kadyrov's regiment guards him when he goes for a walk in the city under the cameras. There is a sniper and a machine gunner in every house every 50 meters. And when he goes out into the mountains, 2,000 soldiers guard him. When they show Kadyrov directing a special operation on the Chechen State Television and Radio Broadcasting Company, it's all a show. First, the guerrillas are killed, the territory is cleared and cordoned off, and only then Kadyrov arrives with his personal guards and cameras. In Germany, Mohammed Abdirahmanov, a human rights activist and representative of the Chechen Human Rights Association VEFON, spoke about an attempt on his life that was thwarted by the killer's testimony. Video blogger Tumso Abdirahmanov had earlier reported about the assassination attempt. According to Mohammad, Pakhrudi Adilgiriev, a cousin of Ramzan Kadyrov, was appointed to organize the assassination. Adilgiriev passed the order on to Valid Dadakayev, who lived in Germany, and introduced him to Tamerlan Aberliev, who was supposed to have shot Mohammad in the head. Dadakayev and Arubiev left together for Europe, but were detained for illegal border crossing by Tamerlan. Not without problems, when they reached Germany, they began tracking the human rights activist. He once spotted a man watching his house, but he quickly left. Arubiev himself was forced to take part in the crime because he was allegedly indebted to Kadyrov. Arubiev had fought in the Russo-Chechen War against the Federals, but he was later granted amnesty. Meanwhile, he did not want to kill Abdurakhmanov. When he surrendered to the police, he described the scheme for the contract crime. The criminal police and the German Federal Prosecutor's Office were now investigating. Dadakayev was arrested. Arubiev was given the status of a witness. Abdurakhmanov commented on the incident. "This is a serious challenge for the European authorities. I believe that in Germany there will be political forces who will take this case seriously and listen to us, and the case will be thoroughly investigated."